He's a very talented producer, and his new movie, Karen, is a thriller that pits a racist woman who makes it her mission to displace a black family that's moved in next door. To talk more about Karen and Karen's, Sevier Crespo, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now,
Yeah.
listen, I don't
Yeah.
mean to, I don't mean to laugh, but the term Karen,
Yeah.
um, I mean, it's so outrageous that it does bring up, some smiles. For those that are living under a rock and don't know what a Karen is, set the stage. Let us know. Give us a refresher. What does a Karen mean to you?
Wow. Well, it's interesting. Because that's a great question. Because for me, you know, it's one of those things that if you look at it from a bigger picture, it's like, man, something happened that was not cool and not okay. And the person's name happened to be Karen. And it just went from there and it steamrolled. And now it's this term in our society that it has become, it signifies, you know, just people that aren't, and then this is where it comes in from what it means to me. It means entitlement. There is, unfortunately, it happens to be in this moment in time and relating to race, racism and discrimination, and just that's kind of how it's kind of shown up, so to speak. But if we then look at where all that comes from, it's entitlement. There's people that are entitled where they just feel that they could at any moment, for whatever reason, go off on a total stranger and kind of destroy their lives, and and even end it, with no sense of reality whatsoever. So a Karen to me means someone who's just entitled. And look, in the grand scheme of things, I've met Karens, if you will, that are all different nationalities and races and from all parts of the world. So we're in America, so people's thought is originally one particular person type, but it really represents that, and how dangerous that can be.
What do you call a male Karen? Is there a name? Is there a term for
Funny, I've heard different ones. I think the main one that I think I've heard is called a Ken.
Okay. Okay. I don't think Barbie would like that, but yes, Ken and Karen. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Karens come in all different shapes and sizes. In America, we think of a particular type with that kind of hairdo. I want to talk to your manager type person. But no, listen, and I'd be lying if I said anytime I go online, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, and I come across these Karen in the wild videos, or just, I have to watch it because they're so outrageous. And you're right, the entitlement is just through the roof. Why do you think us as viewers are kind of fascinated with these individuals now?
God, that's a great question also, because it's like, I think in society, there's a combination of a lot of things that I think people are just starting to get fed up with and tired of. I think that for so long, we're starting to see things where people are not being held accountable for their actions. And now that it's more prominent, where things are being recorded, and there's more information about it, it's awing, right? Like for me, I always say, I don't think that a person, and I'm going on a limb on saying this, but I'm going from my own personal experience, I don't think that people of different ethnicities or cultures or backgrounds kind of have this mentality of just like going off on a total stranger, or saying things like, go back to your own country, or learn how to speak the language, or all these things. So I think the reason why we're fascinated, I think it's like, am I computing what I am seeing correctly? Because it almost seems so inhumane and so disconnected from reality, versus the opposite, that we have a natural instinct and ability. Like, like we'll take 9/11, because it just, we just celebrated 20 years, right? I remember exactly where I was, what was happening, what I experienced. and family and friends and relatives who were there and worked and all these things, and the unity, right? That seems to be a natural human being on this planet Earth reaction, is to help and unite. So when you see something that's almost counterintuitive and counter that, it's a little bit shocking. It's like watching a train wreck and you want to turn it off and you want to stop, but you almost can't believe, you almost want to believe that this is going to end up as like a hoax. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's my opinion. My opinion,
no.
my perspective on it.
I hear you. Okay, I want to shift to the movie.
Yeah.
By the way, what a great concept for a movie. Where did the idea come from? What made you say, "Hey, yeah, I want to get involved with this Karen movie"?
Well, interesting enough, the director, Coke Daniels, I've known him for many, many years. I did one of his very, very earlier movies about 13 years ago, and he's extremely talented. And my other friend, Craig Chapman, who we've all kind of known each other for a very long time, was putting the movie together, and he's like, called me and said, "Hey, there's this movie Coke is doing. It's called Karen." And I think it's a really good movie. It has a message that should be, needs to be told, or at least a perspective that needs to be viewed and put on screen or whatever. And I said, I'm in. That was kind of very simple. I think for me, it kind of came in the tail end. There was so much happening through 2020 and the election and into the beginning of 2021 this year. There was so much, and the Black Lives Matter, and there was so much that I was like, I feel like I need to be part of this, to feel like I'm at cause over something. Like I'm just doing something that feels right. I think that was kind of it. And by the way, and also I was just tired of sitting at home and not doing anything. So when the film came through, I'm like, I'll do it. And then I started reading the script and everything. Which this is kind of this is actually the first time I'm even admitting this in public. I've actually done it with my other producing partners and people, but when I took on the project, and Coke is known, or had worked with him with doing some comedies, right?
Yeah.
So when I got the script and everything was happening so fast, and we're going, and we had to get things rolling because we weren't sure if we were going to get shut down again, globally or in America. I started working, and I hadn't officially read the script. I was like, cool, let me just start the process of producing the film and all that it entailed, and the casting and talent and everything. That I literally had told my producing partner, I was like, hey, we're doing this project, let's do it. I think it's a comedy, because I couldn't comprehend, I was like, it has to be something kind of light and interesting, because that's just what I thought, right? Like flippantly, right? And then I'm working, and she reads it, and she's like, hey, did you say this was a comedy? And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, there's nothing funny about this. This is not a comedy. This is like, it's serious. So then I stopped what I was doing, and I had read it to kind of like see what the world was, which is rare because I never do that. It just so happened to be all at once going a zillion miles an hour, that then I was like, oh, wow, this is, and then I was like, wow, this is going to be something. It has to be done very specific and with care. And, and then everything comes on as far as like the responsibility level of what you're about to go do changed instantly. And not that it was going to make a light or fun of Karen's or the situations, because they're never light and fun. And a person of, ethnicity and of color, there's nothing light about that, and like you said, just to go back, like you said, sometimes people just watch and can't stop watching these Karens in the wild videos. I actually can't watch them. I can't. I almost never have. I'll stop when people try to show me things. It creates an anxiety effect, because for me, I'm like, that could be me.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was the process on jumping onto Karen, and then kind of really taking it serious, and doing the best that I could all around, because I was like, we're saying something very important here, and we're looking to do something important, you know, in a sense that it's like, look, this is what it would look like, right? Not through someone's phone, not making fun of, like, whatever, not through social media or outlets that can kind of create their own narrative, so to speak, right? It's like, this is what this looks like, and look at it, make your own opinion. You can hate or love the movie, you can hate everything about it, but the message and what it's saying isn't changing. It's 100% real, and this is what it looks like from beginning to end.
Speaking of real, I can imagine when you're making a movie, you get approached by all kinds of people, curious onlookers. Any Karens stop by? Because you filmed this where, in Atlanta?
We filmed this in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta, slightly, you know, a good 45 minutes outside of Atlanta proper. And, you know, the neighborhood, look, I you know, I've been to Atlanta, I've worked in Atlanta, I have not too far outside, because things change or can change fairly quick, as far as perspectives and personalities and points of views. So we went to this neighborhood, and things were, because of COVID and the way that things were done, there was a lot of things done remotely, you know, and a lot of through FaceTime and remotely, and video and images and pictures. And I was like, I like this neighborhood. This is perfect. This is what I had in mind. Because I was also thinking, as a producing, like, how do I keep this contained and easy, as easy as possible, to maximize the time frame that we had to do the movie and etc. And so, you know, we go in, we see it, fine, regular neighborhood. And then, you know, but we start to drive through the neighborhood, and there was certain, you know, people's opinions and perspectives are out on the front lawns, and what they believe in, what they stand for. And, you know, I was like, okay, well, we have that everywhere, whatever, it is what it is. People have the right to their own opinion and points of views. Then we start production the day of. And yeah, it's a few people came out of the woodwork. There was a couple of Karens, one specific Ken. And it got, you know, it got stressful real quick. I'm not gonna lie. It got stressful real quick. It was
could have become a documentary. It's flipped the camera.
Could have. It was a little bit. It was. I had a lot of moments of really surreal experiences where it's like, you know, you do a movie or you work on something, and then a camera shuts off, and then you go to real life, and then that's that till the next day or whatever, right? And this was a scenario where you could turn the camera off, and you turned around, and it didn't stop. Like, it was like almost a continual Twilight Zone experience, that it went from like a film set onto like this real life experience, and moments where it just never stopped. It was like, it just felt like it was like a 24-hour intensity magnifying glass situation, you know. I think I even lost some weight. Like, I had one of my friend Craig came in from Los Angeles and was like, dude, you look thin. Are you even eating at this point?
It's the Karen diet.
The Karen diet.
The stress.
That's funny.
Stress of Karen. By the way, who do we cast as our Karen? I love this actor. Orange is the New Black, right? That's where I've seen
Taryn Manning. Yeah. Taryn Manning was cast as the Karen, and she's epic. She's phenomenal, you know. Even from the table reads, which were all actually done also via Zoom and things like that, you know, you could just already see the character and the wheels turning and everything, and she was awesome, you know.
She's not a Karen in real life. We shouldn't be afraid of.
She's actually, which is interesting, she's the opposite. You know, she is the total opposite. She's a total sweetheart, and just a total pro, and very funny and outgoing and intelligent. And yeah, it's you know, she's playing a character, but she is one of those talents that gets into the character, and you think, wait, is this the real, you know, is there any of this part of you? It's like, no, she's just an awesome actor.
Well, I'll tell you what, people should check it out for themselves. If you missed the airing on BET, do not worry. You can catch this Karen film video on demand And boy, it's I mean, you can get it anywhere: iTunes, Amazon Prime, Vudu, Microsoft, Google Play, Redbox. You know what? Just put in Karen, and you'll find it, and you can, well, you can take your own lessons away. Thank you so much, sir.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Listen,
Yeah.
I appreciate your time. And when it comes to Karens out there, everybody, be careful. Well, that's going to do it for another episode, everybody. I want to thank Sevier, I want to thank Stephanie, and I want to thank Adam for joining in on all the fun. And of course, thank you for watching and listening. As always, something you want us to chat about, just drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I've been Mr. Hollywood, Poppin' the Culture.